most sickening moments on paternity court.
Mr. Booker, you are the father.
Yeah! Woo! Yes! I told you!
I feel like even the testimony of he can go because we're gonna be all right and I don't care is a lie too.
Now, this one's a real twister. Miss Booker has spent a whole childhood suffering from pain and being a victim of endless bullying for not being her father's favorite daughter. During these tough times, she would seek emotional and moral support from her dad, Mr. Booker. But turns out, he's insisting she's not his daughter.
It's about money, Your Honor. He told me that he'll write me out his will if he even found out that I was his daughter or not.
Wait, but all of these years, you believe this man was your biological father?
Yes, I did. My mom raised me up until now. Now all of a sudden, it's like I'm not his kid.
So Mr. Booker has 2 other daughters, and he wants to kick Miss Booker out of his will. He claims that he's never spent much time with Miss Booker's mother. But what kind of a man has the guts to treat his daughter like that?
We had a relationship, we lived together. I came home from work one day during the lunch break. I saw a guy come out of my apartment building.
That's not true.
Running, fastening his pants up. I get upstairs. I say to Miss Gant, I said, who was that came out of our apartment? She says, oh, that was from the lady from next door. And the following month, Miss Gant became pregnant.
Turns out Mr. Booker had doubts about Miss Gant, Miss Booker's mother, already cheating on him when they were dating. Until one night, she spilled out her secrets and confessed to him that he's not her biological father. Ever since then, he's been in doubts.
I got pregnant at 16, and I didn't know how to tell him that. He told me and my sister Rashida, if we was to ever get pregnant, that we was grown and we would have to move out. So when I told him that I was pregnant, he was like, well, I don't really think you're my daughter anyway.
Or he took care of you like a father?
But he treated me different from the other kids.
But the sad part about this whole fiasco is how they ended up treating poor Miss Booker. All her life, she thought Mr. Booker was her father, but then he would constantly taunt her that she's not his daughter, and she started having doubts too.
She knew the entire time that she wasn't the favorite. There was something about her connection to you that didn't match her sister's connection to you.
And my siblings knew, Your Honor.
Every parent has a favorite.
Every parent doesn't have a favorite. Now, some parents may have a favorite.
That's honestly no way to treat a child. And to continue subjecting Miss Booker to all that mental torture? Judge Lauren gives Mr. Booker a taste of his own medicine. Miss Booker grew up with her sisters telling her that Daddy didn't like her at all.
This is your will and testament. It says, I make the following specific gifts. I leave all jewelry, family photos, and a BMW vehicle to Rashida A. Booker. I leave a Chevrolet pickup truck to Rashida Booker and Lorraine Booker. You leave the BMW to Rashida, and then Rashida and Lorraine have to share the pickup truck?
But the worst part is when Judge Lauren reads out Mr. Booker's will in front of the court. And guess what? He's leaving most of his stuff to his other favorite daughter. And what's Miss Booker getting? Half a pickup truck. Not even the full thing.
When she came over there and said, who's getting the car when you die? And it kind of broke my heart, and it kind of made me angry too, And I'm like, I'm not even in the ground yet. I mean, you're just like, Lorraine don't look like me. Lorraine don't look like my other siblings. Lorraine don't even look like,
Oh, you forgot my name?
She don't.
Judge Lauren is pretty disappointed to see how Mr. Booker has treated his own flesh and blood. And she hopes that once the results come out today, he'll try to right all his wrongs against Miss Booker. Well, only one way to know the truth.
Mr. Booker, you are the father.
Yeah! Woo! Yes! I told you!
I apologize. I'm sorry. I love you. Come here to me.
Cynthia and Jeremy have a pretty wild argument going on. The short version of it is that Cynthia is dedicated to proving that Jeremy is really the true biological father of her daughter, Naomi. Why is she so sure about that?
We both grown, we both did what we did, and the result to the fact that we did, we created a beautiful baby girl. And I just need to clarify to him that she is his, because if the fact that when the test results come back that she is his, he will take care of my daughter. He will be responsible, because if not, I have no problem with taking him to child support at all.
So, Cynthia does admit that not being cautious while sleeping with another man was a mistake. And if Jeremy isn't the father, she's more than willing to take on the responsibilities of her daughter. But then, why did it take 2 years after Naomi's birth to tell Jeremy?
You all were working real hard at making a child and having sex consistently.
Yes, we was.
And that's why you believe Mr. Boyer is your child's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Boyer, do you admit you had 31 straight days of unprotected sex with Ms. Garrett?
No, I do not.
Turns out these two weren't in a committed relationship and were just doing a friend with benefits thing. But the fact stands that it ended up in the birth of a baby. Now, the question was Jeremy the only man Cynthia had been sleeping with?
I never wanted to take her home. Like, it was just supposed to be at the restaurant, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't gonna be more.
Oh!
But you're grown just like I'm grown. You know what you did.
Right, I know what I did.
And you know what I did.
I never
but
denied
guess
that
what?
I did it.
I
never denied that I did it.
Okay,
and for you to
so
say child support,
let's continue on.
that's irrelevant because you know I take care of my kids.
But here's when things get real interesting. Once Cynthia ended this purely physical relationship with Jeremy, she started dating someone else who treated her better. During this time, she found out she was pregnant, so she thought maybe the baby was this new guy's.
After our sexual relationship was over, I wound up dating another guy. Me and him was consistent then.
Oh.
Automatically thought it was the other gentleman's baby, so I did not.
So you started dating somebody new and you thought it was his child.
Right, Your Honor.
So you told him, I'm pregnant.
Yes.
Was he happy about it?
Yes, he was.
And when Jeremy found out that Naomi existed, of course he asked Cynthia questions, but she never gave him any straight answers. Even the judge is super confused about why Cynthia dodged Jeremy's questions about Naomi's paternity.
I went over there to see her. I got zero spiritual energy from this child. I had zero vibe with this child. I looked at her. She don't look like me. She don't look like my sister. She don't look like no female in my family. She don't look like nobody in my family. I don't know, maybe the eyes, but that's about it.
All children don't have to look like the father. They can look like me. They can look like the grandma.
What changed things for Cynthia? Well, turns out the guy she was happily in a relationship with took a DNA test and found out he's not Naomi's dad. That gave Cynthia a reality check, so she went ahead and unblocked Jeremy and reached out to him.
If Naomi is my child, then I missed 2 years of her life. I missed teaching her how to walk. I missed a lot, and I'm not the type of person to miss anything when it comes to my kids, so that hurt. You mean, but I don't know. We just gotta find out. I can't do anything until I find out.
And so Miss Garrett says you were the only other possible man.
She says a lot of things.
It's so wild that Cynthia's trying to blame all of this on Jeremy, when, in fact, he was the one who suggested a DNA test 2 years ago, but she shot him down. Judge Lauren gives her a good old scolding, and then asks Jerome for that envelope.
Mr. Boyer, you are not the father. He's not the father, Miss Garrett.
And that's fine, Your Honor. And I can still move on and raise my daughter on my own like I've been doing.
Do you know who her father is?
Yes.
We know all sorts of weirdness happens in paternity court, but this case is one that's gonna drive you bonkers. In this case, Mr. Quarles comes to court with his wife, hoping to prove he didn't father his co-worker's child. She's got him on child support. This is how it all started.
How has this child support issue caused trouble in your marriage?
Well, we fight all the time about it. A car, I can't get nothing in my name. My checks is only $40 to $50 every 2 weeks because my child support is getting taken out.
You are having child support garnished from your checks.
Right.
Although the plaintiff has admitted to infidelity, you see how his wife is standing next to him with all her support. We better be taking tips from Mr. Quarles on how we do that. But back to the hearing. Talking about lies and manipulation, the defendant came in with evidence. Here's what happened.
Ms. Forster, you met with the court's licensed polygraph expert. Do you believe you passed?
Yes, ma'am.
The questions were as follows. Ms. Forster, you were asked, have you slept with Uriah Quarles, that's Mr. Quarles, more than one time? You said yes, and the lie detector determined the truth.
A lie detector test. Oh boy, that complicates a lot of stuff. Furthermore, his wife has been living in her world, and the reason she believes her husband might not be at the edge is also a blind shot in the dark. Look how she explains to Judge Lake regarding her doubts.
Mr. Quarles, maybe you need to rethink this relationship.
She may not know who she was sleeping with and just called them all Yuri, since she's saying she only was with one black man, but other black men at the same job claim to have slept with her too.
Furthermore, both parties were sounding confident in what they had to say, and no one was willing to stop playing the charade of lies. regardless of this, his wife also has to state some more facts coming to the defense of her cheating husband.
She told me that I was the baby's father. So, my wife goes up there and confront her. She says, no, I am not the father.
Miss Quarles, do you remember this encounter?
Yes, I confronted him. I kicked him out. I went and found her wiping tables, and I asked her, I said, I heard you were pregnant. Is that yours, baby?
Oh, man, that's way too much storytelling. Among all this, who slept with whom, some more allegations come to the surface. However, this might have led to the recognition of the pattern of pathological lying. Give me a break, people.
He says 2 guys said they were sleeping with you too.
He's the only black guy I've ever slept with my whole entire life. That's why it's...
What's the difference if they black, white, yellow, green? What's the difference?
Because she's mixed. She's mixed, Your Honor, so I'm just...
So you're saying the baby is biracial?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
So that's why you keep trying to pinpoint some other black guy?
Right.
She seems like a nice lady. Nice enough to let her husband sleep with you. Focusing back on the case, with shaking morals and gaslighting the defendant, Mr. Quarles had another vision in his mind to explain the entire case.
On one hand, you're saying, I didn't want to break up their relationship by telling her that this could potentially be his child. But on the other hand, I am sleeping with him knowing that he's with her.
She's a gold digger.
Yes,
She just want-
because you have
she's just trying
so
to get
much
some of that money.
that I want.
What money is this?
At the time, he was in a record deal.
Huh, that's one way to put it all in order, mister. Knowing that there was no end to the allegations, which have created a huge amount of confusion in the courtroom, Judge Lake knew what she and everyone else had been waiting for. And this is how she pulled the trigger.
Mr. Quarles, you are the father.
Well, it makes me happy. I would like to see her. I have like visitation rights, everything.
Melissa had just one dream at this point, and it's to finally get Elton to sign her baby son DeCedre's birth certificate. But things are hardly ever as simple as they seem. Between the two of these people, who's really telling the truth here? Because it seems Elton's pretty sure the child doesn't belong to him.
We broke up because of the simple fact that I cheated, and he has just stayed and he's been there throughout everything, throughout the whole birth, throughout my son being 3 now. He's just played his dad the whole time. I don't really know why he stayed, I just know he has stayed.
All right.
Whoa, it's not even 2 minutes into the episode, and Melissa herself confesses that the reason their relationship started falling apart was because she cheated. Just how twisted can this woman be? She got caught by her own family. Poor Elton only stayed because he felt responsible.
That they saw her outside in the car doing what she was doing with the
What?
dude. Yeah.
You said doing what she's doing.
Pretty much she was having sex in the back of the car.
But it was because he was leaving, and I was telling him bye at first.
So
He came on to me, and it just ended up happening. It's not like it was intentional.
Melissa feels like once Elton found out she was cheating on him, he should have left, but it was his decision to still live with her, so she can't do anything about that. That's a lot of audacity coming from a woman who was caught red-handed cheating.
I never done nothing. We kissed, and that was all we did. It was before I met him. Then I met him, and I chose not to proceed with the other guy.
Okay, but even with the kiss, see, these are the little details, because when you said to him, it's just a friend, I'm just texting, you texting, deleting message, he knew there was smoke there.
Shots are fired when Elton tells the entire court that Melissa was probably making up for lost time. Now, the main question is about the pregnancy scare she got. And guess what? It happened immediately a week after she'd been caught.
So, Mr. Watkins, when you look at DeCedre, do you see the other guy in him?
Yeah, I do.
He looks nothing like the other person. He looks like him.
But I have another daughter that's mine that when me and my kid's mom was trying to have her, it's almost just like exercising after a while. Eventually she got pregnant. I'm not fertile.
Even Judge Lawrence sympathizes with what Elton's going through and understands where Elton's doubts are coming from. But here's the thing. He didn't have to be there, but he stayed during the entire pregnancy, during the birth, and then raised the kid for 3 years. Who does that?
Just because I want him to be the dad, because my son acts just like him.
He
So-
acts like me because he's around me. He's gonna take up things from me.
But he looks.
But I
And also-
want to understand this, though. You're admitting, Ms. Van Meter, that when you saw the other guy, you lied and...
Yeah, because I seen him with his child.
So, it turns out that there are 2 possible biological fathers for this poor kid. But Melissa also admits the truth that the other guy she slept with was a real sleaze, and she liked how Elton treated the kids, so she wanted him around instead.
You do want your relationship to work.
Yes, I do.
And you do want him to be the father of your child, not just in deed, right?
Yeah.
But in name as well.
Yes.
In biology. And you're hoping that these paternity results will save the relationship.
Oh, so it's revealed that Melissa has cancer, and she has no idea how life might turn out. In light of that, she wants things between her children to be as perfect as possible, and she does want things with Elton to work out. Jeez, only the results can save these two now.
Mr. Watkins, you are the father.
That's my boy right there. No wonder he's so damn bad.
That's funny. I've never heard that. But Mr. Watkins, I'm so glad DeCedre will have his daddy in his life.